Hey guys, today we're going to be reviewing the Cooler Master HAF 922 case. The HAF stands for high airflow. I just wanted to give you guys a brief look at what you're getting if you're looking at this case, or maybe if you're looking for a good looking case, or you're really just trying to get some ideas. I wanted to give you an in-depth look of what my build looked like and the features on the case from kind of a practical standpoint to really get you an idea of what you're looking at. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if there's any suggestions of anything else you'd like to see, or any questions about my experience with the case, or anything you'd like to see done better in the future if I ever end up reviewing anything else. Thanks guys, hope you enjoy. Here's a quick walk around of the case. You'll notice the right side doesn't have much to look at. The front panel, as you can see, you can kind of see through it. It's actually a mesh, which allows high airflow through the case to its name. You'll see the side panel there has an HAF logo for high airflow, and then a side panel with a mesh cover. I added that fan, but that is not stock. Here's a view to give you a little depth from the front going over the top. You'll see there again the mesh panels, your USB ports and your audio ports and your power button, as well as the top 200mm fan. Dismantling the case is really easy. It's just a matter of removing the two hand screws. You have one located on top and one located on the bottom, which I have already taken the courtesy of removing. So they're thumb screws. You can just use your hand to unscrew them. When you first get it out of the box, you might need a screwdriver. I noticed mine was pretty tight from the factory. But then it's just a matter of using the nice little handle here, putting your fingers around it, and just pulling straight back, and it just comes right undone. You can then remove it to the side. If you installed a case fan like I did, then you just have to unplug the case fan from the motherboard. But yeah, very easy to get into, very easy access. Once you're inside, you'll notice there's plenty of case room, lots of space in this case, very clean. There's a nice little back plate there. If you see, I did some wire management, kind of hiding all the wires away. It's very easy with this case. I'll go over that in a minute when I cover the back plane. But it's a very clean looking case. This model has the black inside paint. From my understanding, some of them don't come with this. I think it's a really nice look. But to be honest, with the side on, you're not really looking inside too much anyway, so you probably won't notice a huge difference. But if you're like me and you like to see inside your case from time to time, it's definitely a nice touch. The case comes with 3 fans. There's a front 200mm red LED case fan. It blows air in from the front, and there's actually a dust screen here, which is very nice. I actually just cleaned it. Dust came out of it very easily. It's definitely saved a lot of dust from getting inside the case. There's also another 200mm fan up here at the top. Just one thing I noticed from the factory is that a couple weeks after I had it, the fan started to make some noise for about the first 2 minutes I would have it on. I'm not sure what happened. I oiled it up to see if that noise would go away, and we'll see what happens. And then in the back there's also a 120mm fan pushing air out the back. So those are the fans that will come from the factory, already installed in the case. Very nice touch. They're very big, definitely push a lot of air, and the red LED in the front is nice. One thing I want to mention is that this fan at the top here, you'll notice in some of the images you'll see from the factory that they'll show that is a red LED fan as well. It is not. It is actually a solid black fan, no LED there, and it's actually a little bit louder. So if you're you're concerned about the noise, I really recommend purchasing another 200mm fan that's probably a quieter model. You'll save yourself a lot of noise. It is the quietest, or I'm sorry, it is the loudest fan in the case. Another item I wanted to bring your guys' attention to is these 2 rubber holes for liquid cooling piping. I personally obviously am not running liquid cooling, but if you were, they're already there. Very convenient, very going to make your liquid cooling configuration look very clean. The only downside I note about them is if I'm trying to pick up this case from the back and I'm reaching around and I hit one of these, they tend to fall out kind of easily. You'll see there it just came loose. You just kind of have to pop it back into place, or get it back into place. Really not too big of a deal, but If you're going to run liquid cooling, it's definitely a major convenience. The next thing I wanted to review was the inner drive bays of this case. You'll notice it has quite a number of them. Here you have 5 3.5-inch drive bays. They're hot swappable, just a matter of releasing this little clip here, pulling them out, and you can go ahead and pull them the whole way out and install your drive. You'll notice they have these nice pins here, so you don't need any screws required. You simply will attach your drive in, move it forward to put these locks into these pins into position to lock them, and then you can go ahead and slide your drive back in and go ahead and lock it. I can't show you mine right now because I have them actually zip tied in there pretty good, so but you get the idea. Up here you have your 5 1/4-inch drives. I do have one drive installed here. Again, it's very easy. They're also a toolless system using a pin system. You go ahead and you slide your drive into place. You push that in. It pushes pins in where screws would typically go in your normal case, and then locks the drive into place. It's not a. I'll be honest with you. It's not a solid lock. I noticed whenever I was trying to install the power, which takes a little bit of force. Whenever you push forward, you notice that it will come forward a little bit. So you do kind of have to hold it in place and make sure you lock it again. But it will take a good bit of abuse. It's not going to fall out on its own by any means in its current state. It just, whenever you're putting that direct force pressure on it forward, you will want to hold it in place. But I really can't complain. It's a very easy system. It's a very effective, and it saves you a lot of time. I remember having to go back and put screws in the front, screws in the back, and it was always a pain to put in drives. I'm more than willing to trade off the little bit of struggle it is putting these power connectors in for the convenience of easy removal and addition of new drives. They also include these front little mesh plates. They're also very easy to remove. They're just clips on the inside. You just push them in, and then you can slide these out like so. You see my hand's on the clip there. Very easy. They're very good looking. I really like it. You can actually feel air flowing in and out during usage, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the drive base. The last feature I want to bring your guys' attention to on the inside of this case is the nice little expansion board covers. They're very easy to remove. They're just thumb screws. You simply just unscrew them. They're very high quality metal. I remember in the past dealing with these. You'd have to use a screwdriver, and then they'd bend, and then they never fit quite right again. These are actually very high quality. They're already painted, as you can tell. Very nice look, and very easy to put back in and out if you have to remove them. And you're not damaging the aesthetics of your case because they'll pop right back in there. Alright, so I told you guys I'd show you the back panel where you can do all your cable management and hide all those wires to make the inside of your case look nice and pretty. I already took the liberty of removing the 2 thumb screws, just like with the side panel. There's the top and bottom one. You just go ahead and use your thumb to unscrew those. Again, there's this nice little handle here for you to wrap your fingers around and simply pull straight back. Comes off very easily. As you can see, there's lots of nice places to tie your wires to in the back of the case. Really get that front of the case looking nice and clean because you're tucking them all back here. There's lots of these hooks in the back, which I've taken the liberty of putting ties in at various places just to keep the cables nice and hidden and tight against the back pane. It's a very nice touch. Lots of nice little slots where you can put all your wires. This goes to the CPU. This goes to, I think, a USB port. Down here you have the big one for your power supply and your various motherboard connectors that are at the bottom of your motherboard hanging around here. Very nice convenience. Plenty of things here to tie your cables to and really make what could be an unsightly mess look fairly hidden and look very clean from the front. The front connectors to this case are pretty standard. 2 USB 3.0 ports, and those are 3.0. An eSATA connector, microphone in, and a headphone out. In addition, you have your power button and your reset button, your power LED and your hard drive activity LED indicator. And one thing that's unique to this case is a fan LED switch, and this actually controls the red LED and the fan in the front. It's a nice touch if you're concerned. There's times where you don't want that LED to be running. Say it's really dark and you might find the light distracting. I personally find it's not very distracting because it's pretty tucked away in here behind a dust filter, where it's not a bright red LED where it's blinding you. It's pretty subtle, so it's a nice look. The connectors for all your front plugs and the power button and etc. Very nice cable construction here. You'll see they're thick wires. I remember back in the day when we used to use USB front ports, they used to come in these little dinky wires and all these little plugs, and you used to have to route them. They were basically little pins that you had to match up with all the little pins on the motherboard. A real pain. Just to show you here, they run, they're very nice cable construction. You just run them to the front. Give you a walk around here, and you'll see specifically the 3 USB ports are actually one solid nice plug. You're not dealing with those little pins anymore. Very nice. Same with the front eSATA connection, and your normal power button and reset switches and etc. will run off your normal pins. Those haven't changed due to their nature. And here you also have your front audio port, which is also a single plug. Very nice. I remember the biggest headache I used to find about building computers was getting all these little pins lined up and in the right slots. Very nice now that they come in these standard connections. Here's the case actually running. You notice you have your power LED on. If the hard drive was working, this would be on. In addition, you have your front 200mm fan that comes with this case with the red LEDs. It is behind the dust shield, so it's kind of a very subtle red light. It's a nice touch. It doesn't look obtrusive or obnoxious by any sense of imagination. And you do have that switch on top, which I mentioned in the front of the review, that actually can turn that light on and off. So, if it's not something you like, or you want to turn it off for some reason, you just go ahead and hit that, turns off. The top 200mm fan is chugging away. It's pulling air out of the case, pulling the hot air, while the front fan is pushing it in. And then this side fan I have, I bought this separately. This is a Cooler Master 200mm. It's a silent model, but it has red LEDs. You'll notice it's a lot brighter. It's actually the same fan that's in the front, but it's a lot brighter because it's not behind that dust shield. I think it's a good look to add to the case. It's really just to your personal preference, but there you go. So guys, that's my review of the Cooler Master HAF 922. I really just did this because I know how hard it can be when you're trying to make a decision to buy something off the internet. You don't really get a good idea what you're really getting, and these reviews I find are sort of the best source. So the higher quality review you can get, the better you can make your decision and really see what you're getting. I know I hadn't built a computer in several years, so when I first unboxed this thing, I was a little surprised, but it's really grown on me. I love the case. I think it's beautiful. I think it's well done. It's tastefully done. It's not tacky. Even with the red LED case fan, I added another one, and I am in any way embarrassed about it or feel that it's tacky in any way. I feel it's a very solid looking case. Very well done, very well manufactured. I'm definitely impressed with the quality, how easy it is to get in and out of everything. So if you're considering this case, I say you will not be disappointed at any stretch of the imagination. It's a wonderful case. The only addition I added was the side case fan. I added a red LED because I wanted a little bit more airflow into the case. But other than that, it's a great case, and I've definitely enjoyed it, and I definitely don't have any problem seeing it every day. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you're considering this case, it has my recommendation. So good luck, guys, with your own search, and hope you find something that you really like.